like anything can happen, right? Like it's always interesting when you have these setups, as you can see the lineup from Oblivione. Oblivione know what to expect. They've already beaten it before just last week, so it's about coming in and just sort of reciprocating the same thing you did last time. But now, if you're SRPeakCheck, do you change things? Do you come in with the same strategy but try and execute differently? There's so many different like mini games that happen when you have back-to-back series between weeks.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny because I think for the team that is like one-tricking a comp, I think it's, especially going into this match, it's a bit easier for you because you're like, okay, we have these pieces. How do we arrange them so we win? Like, there's got to be a way, there's got to be a different kind of style of play that we can do in order to find more success. Because the way SRPeakCheck have been playing, like you look at the match against Hypnos with the highlights on your screen, the way they were navigating around the map with Danid on the sim, like that won them the series. Like that won them these games. He's so clean on the Symmetra. And then Phi too, just being very flexible on the junk, on the Tracer. Replicating that against a team that you probably, that is probably going to be a little bit more meta. I feel like your preparation, I don't know, it feels like it's going to be easier in a way. Like you have the pieces, you just need to arrange them correctly. Although saying that, the last series they got full held on Rialto, I don't know, man. I want to root for SRPeakCheck so bad. And so 50-50.
Let's go SRPeakCheck.
Dude, chat is popping off. You guys are the best. We had a 49-51 in the last series, now a 50-50. All right.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Hey,
Danny,
I mean,
there you go. You're the 51%, Danny.
There you go, yeah. 50.
Yeah.
More like, honestly speaking, it's probably like 50.001%.
Wild. We'll round it up for you.
No, yeah, Danny, you count as 1%. Okay, you're that important to us.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you. You guys are too nice. But I mean, yeah, everything's on the line for both of the teams. SRPeakCheck. I am going to root for them, but I do believe it is going to be a tough battle for them because of all the reasons that you guys were talking about, guys. I think the players are ready for their match. Let's jump right into the match, guys. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and I want to continue that thread I was just speaking about a little ago, Scott, because like I think for the one-trick team, especially losing that game in a 3-0 fashion, like for the other side of things, EXO, what do they need to improve from that series? We don't need to improve that much because we just kind of rolled them. Although saying that, the Runasapi, the push was pretty close, 99 meters to 91, like a pretty close affair. But if you're SRPeakCheck, you can look back at that and go, okay, this is how we lost every fight. This is how we lost this fight. This is how we lost this fight. So, I don't know. It feels preparation-wise a bit easier for SRPeakCheck, but it's yet to be seen how well the series goes. Control is going to be our first map. It was Lijiang Tower in their match in the opening maps, and it was a 2-0 to Oblivione.
It's an interesting thread that you're kind of pulling on there, Jack, because I agree with you to some degree, but at some point there's a limitation of playing Reinhardt, right? Like you're going to run into an issue of like Reinhardt isn't the strongest hero right now. He can struggle in certain matchups, especially if the team knows how to play against it, which EXO has already proven in the past that they know how to do. So I agree, SRPeakCheck can definitely come in refreshed with a couple of new ideas and some adjustments of how they want to play it. But the big question I have is, are there any adjustments that SRPeakCheck make within their compositions? Maybe they don't switch to Reinhardt, but change some other things to sort of fill in some of the gaps. You know, there's so many mental games that are always happening as we're heading over to Lijiang Tower, as we always do. It was nice seeing Ilios in the last series, but back we go. Cool. Yeah, no, back we go.
Honey, it's time for your mandated Lijiang Tower of the day. Yes, honey.
First of many.
First of many, yeah. I don't mind it. I like Lijiang. It's a fun map. All right, here we go. Let's load on in. Oblivione versus SRPeakCheck, a decider match for Group C, who will advance alongside Space Station to the main event. The audience pretty split, 50-50. That is, I said in the previous match when it was 51-49, that was closest we've ever seen, and they proved me wrong. This is the closest we've ever seen the audience be. And I think a lot of the vibes are coming from SRPeakCheck. They're very much a vibes team, so I can understand the votes.
I almost wonder if there's collusion going on in the chat. You know, people aren't betting, people aren't predicting with their hearts, they're predicting for the 50-50, okay, chat? And I want to, if you guys are hearing me right now, stop that, okay? You know, this is a scientific matter, okay? So now
scientific, wait, how is this a scientific matter?
Hey, don't worry, didn't ask. LH Cloudy coming out on Reinhardt again.
Facts. Okay, SXJ. playing on the far, no real shock there, to be very honest with you. Quick teleport to the point 5. No Junkrat, unfortunately. Maybe if we go to Control Center, we'll see a little bit of Junk. Just on the Tracer instead.
So let's see how we're going to see SRPeakCheck play this, right? They know they're against the Pharah, the Winston. They know it's going to be very difficult to TP on. So how do you choose a window? Symmetra TP goes out, goes onto the window, running down the Ana, but they're getting a little lost.
Yeah, SXJ as well, pretty low. There's a SRPeakCheck. They're trying to flip the map on Oblivione. They do trade, but it'll be going down. A lot less healing available. Ghost, we know, loves to do damage, of course.
Oh, wow, he's out.
Somehow Cloudy gets out 1 HP. Just Cloudy things, I suppose, but now Ghost is in a lot of trouble. Believe on the outside right now, but the backup has arrived. Luckily, there is a Tracer there for SRPeakCheck to at least claim a kill. Extremely messy fight so far, Scott. A bit all over the place, but you expect nothing less when you see SRPeakCheck play. Cloudy ends up going down to Camp Crash, and with Danid struggling to get some time on the point. Looks like he's going to let it go.
I cannot think of anything worse than having to play Symmetra in this matchup, right? Like, obviously it's useful for the teleporter to move LH Cloudy around, but you're playing a Symmetra against a Winston Pharah. Like, it's just going to be very difficult to get any individual value where you can pump out damage and you can get that value. If anyone can do it, it's going to be Daned, but you can see him really struggling. Like, SRPeakCheck, that went about as well as they could have hoped. You know, LH Cloudy was able to get out. They were able to get a trade between Ghost and Zoro, but even then it wasn't enough. And now they have to find a window of how do we get back to the point without getting absolutely minced meat. They're going to TP back onto the point, and honestly, I'm surprised Oblivione aren't as prepared for it as they should have been.
Well, there's the Nano. This is going to be a big problem for them. Big thorn in the sides. Same with this Ray, too. Good luck against the Winston in this. Daned trying to get out of there. Use that teleporter, but here comes the Primal Rage on the edge of the map, no less. Fire ends up falling. Same with Daned, and the Primal is going to handily dispatch of Ghost. His SXJ actually gets the little boop kill, and there it is, team kill for Oblivione.
That's really the issue SRPeakCheck are running into. As much as it was a great play to teleport onto the point, it's so, I guess, obvious at this point that that's what they're going to do. Oblivione, as much as they weren't there to stop it, they were ready to react, and now they're reacting very early, going super aggressive into the spawn, throws the bomb, and now they're just following up to spawn.
Look at the Ray positioning coming through from SRPeakCheck. Almost no one was there to actually benefit from it as SRPeakCheck decide they want to try and once again just trade backlines. But a quick barrage from SXJ nets a kill, and Oblivione, they're on one fight before they end up taking the round.
They don't have any ultimates anymore, so it's going to be harder to stop them from getting to the point like you can see here. Big Dynamite might slow things down though.
Oh, good shots from Ghost though. Needs to be dealt with at some point. A wall and a window. They've constructed a house on the point, and they end up capping as well. 96% for Oblivione.
There are more things in a house than a wall and a window, Jack. Just want to clear that
Really?
up. Yeah, just letting you know. But you're gonna see Cloudy coming out of the window.
Captain Fresh goes to sleep, and Dan takes care of him. We'll wake up in just a minute. Skytor's still in this fight. He's got Primal Rage in a couple of percent. Does he actually commit? No. Zoro down. Skytor not committing that. Oblivione, they're going to go again.
I think they recognize they just need to get their ultimates up, right? Yeah, if Skytor uses the Primal Rage there, what are you really going to accomplish in that setup? So just wait for the Nano Boost, just wait for the Orbital Ray, you go in with the Primal Rage. It's going to be difficult for SRPeakCheck to be able to do it. I don't think they know SXJ is here. They do now.
They do now. And they're TPing away. It's rather tricky with the teleporters, but now he's got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. SXJ with a clean in and out kill. Look like 007 out there. My word, no one saw that one coming. Or Agent 47, you know, don't you think? LP ends up falling over. LH Cloudy, yeah, there's nothing you can. The Rhine really showing its pure strength there, unfortunately, against the Winston. This is just pooped up into the sky. Oblivione with a very clean final fight. They got ults to spare too, and that will be the round.
Clean play by Oblivione, just playing it correctly, just waiting them out. You see SRPeakCheck just aren't able to stop Oblivione from taking space with the Pharah, from being able to move around them, and they're doing a good job of mitigating the threat of these TP pins and like LH Cloudy running down your backline, right? The only person who really needs to be careful is Zoro and Captain Prash, right? And I think they're doing a good job of moving around together so that they're not getting individually picked off.
Well, Cloudy obviously is going to play the Rhine here, but I mean, we saw Junkrat last time. But I don't know if they want to play it against Oblivione because I think the Caliber team compared to Hypnos is a lot stronger for Oblivione. I don't think the Junkrat is going to work against them. So looks like SRPeakCheck going to run out of the Tracer instead. But same kind of comp here from Oblivione, no shocker. It's going to be once again a tough battle for Cloudy.
And you can just see how much pressure SkyTour is putting on. Oh, wow. And with the Dynamite, it's just too much damage. And it's interesting looking at the difference between the two teams we've seen SRPeakCheck play in the last 2 days, because like SkyTour is doing a great job of like dropping down on SRPeakCheck, and they don't want to be committing resources and trying to apply pressure to the Winston, so they're just trying to find windows to TP to the backline, but they're not giving them that opportunity, and that's actually going to result in Darnet switching over to the Venture and not, you know, sticking on the Symmetra where they can utilize the teleporters. So it's going to be harder for LH Cloudy to get value, but I like the Venture pick.
Yeah, I really like it too. Holding this high ground's a priority right now for Oblivione. Fine with a clean kill onto Zoro. Turns his attention now towards Takuno. Here come the kills for Cloudy. All right, okay, they're on the board. Our SRPeakCheck. I like the Venture pick, actually. It makes the backline just like kind of second guess themselves in terms of positioning. It's tough to take down the Venture at the best of times, especially with when they have Burrow up. So Oblivione, while they are still in the fight, technically, they aren't in control of the point, sadly. SkyTour's on a heap of hurt, has to dash all the way back, and look at that. He's not receiving as much support as he would if the Venture
he's alive.
Good kill, though. But even better ones coming through for SRPeakCheck as SkyTour and Zoro go down.
And you can see why the Venture is adding value. Even though Darnet isn't doing a ton of damage or getting a ton of picks themselves, they're just forcing the rest of the Oblivione to turn around and help, and that's freeing up V, and that's giving also LH Cloudy actually a lot more room. Even though he doesn't have the teleporter as much, he just has freedom to be able to run down the opposition.
Pulse bomb connection. Forcing the primal rage from SkyTour. He's in the back line already, moving people away from that Ray, but already 300 HP, has to back up. And here comes another orbit on the points. That was a good nade, actually, onto SXJ to keep him up for a fraction of a second longer, but unfortunately, the damage did not connect. That sleep dart definitely did, though. Good stuff from Camp Crash so far. They can even re-engage into this fight with a nano boost.
Yeah.
They got it. And it's SRPeakCheck on at full strength either.
Yeah, actually, good presence of mind not to just force that nano. Now you can wait. They drop the window, and now the nano boost is even more effective. And you can see there is just no answer that SRPeakCheck has. They managed to stay alive, but they're just so split from Cloudy, and that should end up being the flip here for Oblivione.
Yeah, Cloudy for the longest time there was just on point, just hoping the rest of his team could win that duel. They do end up stalling out to what, like 81%, so not too bad.
And now you have to deal with the threat of the shatter from LH Cloudy. It's so difficult to mitigate this. SkyTour has the bubble, has the jump, but you know, if Captain Prash ends up finding a Reinhardt in the face, there's nothing they can do to stop that shatter from going down. And that's why you can see them positioning on this outside area, just trying to avoid LH Cloudy on the Reinhardt as much as they can, and Cloudy recognizes it.
Fight's just trying to hunt for people right now. Camp Crash really low, no sleep dart. There's the shatter, hits the floor. Where's the damage follow-up? SkyTour still alive, but no, one final hammer swing there from Cloudy does claim his life. Oblivione still in control of the point. SXJ straying a little bit too close. That mythic weapon ends up falling over, and with Vice Pulse Bomb too. Okay, I was gonna say maybe he could turn this around, but Cloudy ends up going down. Zoro just hugging this pillar, making sure they stay alive, and Oblivione now back at full strength as SRPeakCheck look for a reset.
I need to shout Captain Prash out again. They've had some really high value sleeps and nades throughout this map so far, just really hitting the important ones. LH Cloudy getting set there completely puts that halt. Now you're gonna see SkyTour going very aggressive, has the primal rage even though they do get pinned. But is there gonna be any follow-up now, because the orbital ray is just doing too much damage and healing?
An absurd amount of damage. Fire strike with the orbital ray. That's a one-shot right there for Cloudy. All right, Oblivione at 95%. Make that 97 as SRPeakCheck end up getting that point. Oblivione now in one fight territory. 5 forced to recall there as SXJ landed a direct. But where's the touches? Is the nano boost onto SkyTour. It's gonna pop down the window though, is Ghost, but Ilpi's already dead. This barrage doing an immense amount of damage. Luckily though for Ghost, a crack shot as SXJ does end up falling. And with no staying power for Oblivione, this might just be the round going over to SRPeakCheck. I mean, Cloudy is still chilling on the point with the shatter as well.
Yeah, you can see they're just,
Yo!
Darnet stays alive.
Never worried.
I was very worried. I don't know what you're saying. And you can see SRPeakCheck really showing some adaptability playing this composition. I really like the adaptation of Darnet over to the Venture. You can see how that almost just fractures the fight, right? All of a sudden the game's a lot more chaotic and Oblivione are getting a little split and unable to isolate targets like they were in the first round.
Okay, round number 3, let's go. I mean, SRPeakCheck, the last time they played this map was against Hypnos the other day, right? And that was a pretty easy affair, especially with the Junkrats. Some insane highlight plays. A little 2-0 over Hypnos, that was.
That's some silver lining, though, worth mentioning. Control center of Lijiang Tower is by far Reinhardt's best map. You can see as we head over here to Gardens, this is going to be a lot more difficult for Cloudy to find value with just how much open space there is. You can see he's just being harassed from all angles right now.
I like the control of this small room here. It's super easy for Venture to hold this room. Stops the setup, get a free bit of ult charge as well. Good pin from Cloudy there. Skytor as well being pushed into that small room by Danid. They do end up getting a trade kill onto Fi, but where is the additional ones? I mean, with your Winston dead, it's so hard to create space. Cloudy is just holding this bridge.
Yeah, and you can see, I don't know how Cloudy finds these pins time and time again. He's got something. He's got a third eye where he's able to always find it. Darnet is going to get punished, though, for going a little bit too far, and now that's going to give a window for Oblivione to get in, and yeah, there's just not enough follow-up for the rest of the team.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Ryan's just kind of the hold. He's the rectangle man. He just holds the rectangle. That was almost a pin. Like, if SHJ was a couple of pixels down, that was a pin.
Yeah, but it unfortunately isn't going to pay off. Darnet a little bit of stall. But that is going to be the flip coming back up, 30% to SRPeakCheck. So now, how do they get back into this fight, right? They don't have the Symmetra teleport to be able to get LH Cloudy over the bridge. Do they go across to the white room on the right? Do they try and get over the bridge? This is where it really starts to get difficult.
Okay. Oh, window available from Ghost.
Or pin, that works.
Pin. That works too. Shadow available as well. Oh, straight on top of his head. That's just sleeping me like 6 times in a row. Nice little pin too. Oh, straight the bomb off the map. Dude, Cloudy a little bit freakish on the Reinhardt. Actually, my goat. Shout out Reinheads out there. Uh-oh. No!
Oh, no, no!
Oh, you're gonna hit the Death Box. Yeah, goodbye. Goodbye, Tekuno. Oh my god. He tried.
The flip does go through, but Orbital Ray from Ilpi very late in that fight, maybe thinking it could have been flipped, but potentially wanting that one back, because now Oblivione coming back with a nano boost, they have a primal, all the tools to be able to get back into this fight. You can see they're just sort of routing around, going over the left side.
Ghost. This tectonic shock could be quite irritating for Oblivione to deal with. But oh wow, Ghost just deleted by Skytor and Zora there. Cloudy also ends up going down. Yeah, that's a quick and clean fight from Oblivione. Don't need to invest anything else. Stand there with no burrow, no draw dash, easy kill. Just stall now for SRPeakCheck. Didn't use anything though, so I guess that's a plus.
Yeah, you know, honestly not bad play, all things considered. It's just very difficult to deal with that nano Winston. Felt like Ghost really getting caught on the rotation. But anything's possible at this point. Last time I said this is going to be difficult for them to get over, and then LH Cloudy just pinned somebody. So, you know, just do it again.
Just do it again. Keep doing it. Cat Prash is not exactly out in the open, but, you know, you can arc the pin. Oh, he's going for it. Cloudy's going for it. And you can see 5 strikes then to the back line. Look at the quick trades here. Lamp deployed by Ghost. Cloudy on the point. Pins back towards that bridge. No, his team's in trouble, but with this Primal Rage and LP dead, yeah, that's Tekuno and Skytor filling the kill feed with blue.
You can see the issue with what happens when LH Cloudy doesn't find anyone or find any value. What happens is Skytor just jumps past them and they just mitigate the risk of LH Cloudy, run away, and then the team is just so disconnected from one another. So now, 81% and counting, SRPeakCheck needs to find value. Pulsebomb goes wide and B on the other side of the map.
Alright, okay. Tectonic Shock, Bob, but Tekuno's Orbital Ray is going to be the big problem here for SRPeakCheck. They got one there soon, but a very early engage. Look at that, Bob deploy. I mean, Zoro
going
right in front of Cloudy. Like, I do not know. Overtime has been triggered, however. Shadow on the corner does land on Cam Crash, but unfortunately, there is heals there to back him up. Full HP already. Artfare Orbital Ray was thrown in. And now Danid looking for the kill. Finally, they take down the Ana. But what war have they got to give in this fight? Looks like Skytor might end up meeting his maker there as Danid finds the kill. But look at this. I mean, it's so hard for Danid right now. He's looking for targets, but everybody's just dashing around him. SRPeakCheck do end up claiming the point, but their staying power there is just not apparent. Eventually, Cloudy ends up making his way back to it, but Oblivione, they're going to be at full strength in just a moment.
Both sides are going to be in full strength. This last fight is going to determine who wins this first map. You can see SXJ just hovering, waiting for a barrage. It's not great.
Damage is decent, though. SXJ does get taken down. Cloudy and Danid end up falling. That barrage is absolute heavy lift in there for Oblivione. Takes down Cloudy, and Danid was brought to, what, sub 10 HP as Takuno ends up, you know, fell off the map at one time, but it's all good. You put up the kill feed numbers at the very end as Oblivione will find the first map.
SXJ just able to live way longer than I would have expected with that barrage, and as you said, Jack, the damage was done, and that was a very back and forth map though, you know, giving me a little bit of faith in the SRPeakCheck heads in chat. You know, I'm starting to believe a little bit, especially if they're able to go to maps where they can continuously play like this. I like the look of the Venture, maybe something that they sort of cooked up recently to be able to give them the edge, but this could honestly go either way with a map like that.
Ooh, I mean, hey, it's getting exciting. That's what I like to see. They didn't go down 2-0, right? No, hey, they looked at the Hypnos game. They were like, we got confidence here. We know we can take them to the very end. Map number 2 coming up in just a moment. SRPeakCheck's choice, and it's definitely the best position for them to be in. Obviously, losing a map's not great, but you get to pick a map.
The best position to be in.
It's not, but you get to pick a map that Ryan's good on, you know? You know?
Yeah, the silver linings, you know, and that's absolutely true, right? There's a lot of maps where, like, Reinhardt is really going to be at their best. Obviously, they would have loved to have closed out Lijiang Tower, but just some little things going by the wayside. And honestly, SXJ's Pharah is something that, like, I was very impressed with, right? Showing the movement that you're able to get away with and being able to play alone is very difficult in some of these setups, especially playing against a Juno, playing against a Baptiste. Like, the backline can do a lot of damage to you as you're in the air, but you know, Ghost 91 just not really getting that freedom as much as we saw from him in the last series against Hypnos to be able to pump out damage.
Yeah, we spoke a lot about that actually yesterday. Ghost basically just doing damage. Like, that was it. It was like, well, you know, hopefully my team can get healed by the Juno because I'm out here just slaying people. That's just unlucky. No shift. Sad
stuff. It happens. You know, sometimes you're just falling a little lower. And this is just, you know, Captain Prash, you know, I talked about it a little bit, the sleeps that they were able to hit throughout that map, just doing a great job of really avoiding LH Cloudy and the threat that LH Cloudy is bringing to him. So,
yeah, it's kind of the perfect setup, really, for this SRPeakCheck team. Probably not a comp you'll be playing against teams like, you know, Space Station, Ants, you know, One Man Army. But the Ana is just so good against the Rhine. It's It feels pretty unfair for Cloudy. A lot of the time, it feels like. Here's some the stats from the last map as well. Pretty back and forth, like you said, Scott. 1.7 to the 0.5. 60 deaths, a very scrappy game. Yeah, Control is kind of insane, but it makes sense.
It makes sense, just with the way SRPeakCheck play, right? They want to get scrappy, they want to get in the mud, they want the game to devolve into chaos because that's really where they thrive, right? That's where all their individual heroes and their picks are able to deal with. And that's just something that EXO is going to need to try and focus on throughout the entirety of this series, because if you get a little scrappy, if it gets a little messy, all of a sudden you start playing the opposition's game. And if you start doing that, anything can happen, because that's where Reinhardt's really strong, when it's just like he's pinning around the map, trying to run people down, and you're not working together and helping each other.
Where do you want to go then if you're SRPeakCheck? What map?
Obviously, you know, your flashpoints or your clashes, I think, are going to be really good for Reinhardt. You can play very linearly and just sort of like run down the opposition. Anything that doesn't really have too much high ground, but we've seen in the past SRPeakCheck have been able to sort of work around that. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to something like a King's Row, because if you're SRPeakCheck, you want to get on a mode that has like maybe one good map for you, right? So like Blizzard go to Midtown, maybe not as good a Rhine maps, but King's Row is not bad. So you pick that now so that they can't pick a bad map for you later, if that makes sense. So, because Clash and Flash,
I kind of see that.
Clash and Flash pretty much Reinhardt can function on all of those maps, right? So maybe don't go towards Clash and Flash early because that might be something that the opposition will choose against you later. So I think there's definitely some picks that you can go for. Runasapi, another map that I think Reinhardt is actually quite good at because of how many... Because it's an S, a lot of the maps, you can actually... You can cut through a lot of spots with Reinhardt and sort of catch the opposition off guard, even though there are long sightlines in this map.
Yeah, it's an S. It's more like, I think it's more like a W.
No, well, okay, yeah, but W is just an S on its side, kind of, you know?
What are you saying?
No, 100%.
W is an S on its side. Everybody right now, by your desk, take a bit of paper, write an S on its side, right?
Okay, yeah.
Tell me that looks like a W.
Oh, well, actually, I'm moving my keyboard around to sort of get some angling going here. Yeah, okay, so yeah. So if you flip it 90 degrees and then you get rid of, like, the bottom line, it's kind of just an S with more steps.
I've written it down on my little notepad.
Okay.
Doesn't look anything like it.
Doesn't look. It's like a jagged S. You know those S's they used to draw in school? Those.
The cool S's.
The cool S's. Hey, old heads know what we're talking about.
Old heads. Yo, rise. But there's no emote for that. Unfortunately, there's no. They didn't add that to the keyboard yet.
Can I get your sideways W's in chat?
Can I your sideways W's? Okay, well, whatever it is, a W or an S. A sideways W, a sideways S, I'm not sure. We're going to Rialto. This was, sorry, Runasapi. This was the map that they picked against Oblivione before. A pretty close map, actually. 91 meters to 99. So you're expecting, at least from SRPeakCheck's angle, and what you were picking up earlier, Scott, you're going to try and take these maps away from modes that the other maps are just terrible at. And I think Runasapi is perfect here.
Looking at it now, I don't think it's a W or an S.
It's a W, bro.
I know
it's not really. It's a W with like a... If you flip this around, so it's like the other way...
it might be more of an M, like an upside down M.
Oh, right? Which is a W, by the way.
Yeah, but like with more curves, you know?
Yeah, it's like you know that writing they had in like very, very olden times, like Tudor times, that were very like squiggly and swirly?
You mean cursive?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant.
And that's a quick fight win here from SRPeakCheck as we come down to reality, as you guys don't have to listen to our ramblings. But yeah, like, that's how they need to play this, right? They need to play quick, they need to try and isolate a target, and there just really wasn't an opportunity for Oblivione to get into this fight, and now they've already got 30 meters.
Feeling pretty good. SXJ on the far, kind of the perfect counter for this composition. Taking a fair bit of damage, to be fair. From Ghost, who's going to be the main target to shoot the Farah. Now this corner is going to be really punishing. Zora can stand so far back. Scott and SXJ just playing in Skybox around the corner.
Yeah. And this is where it gets hard for Cloudy, right? Like, yes, he can hold that corner, but like, as soon as too much pressure comes out and too much power, like, they're just going to have to disengage. And they do a good job with that Symmetra teleporter to be able to give themselves a little bit of wiggle room. And now they can re-engage with the ring pin.
Oh, there goes the window. Just deployed straight in front of SkyTour, who's trying to get onto the back line. LP's 1 HP. And Juno almost getting taken down, and here come the turrets. Those turrets are set all the way around that the jump pad, by the way. So, yeah, don't want to go in there. End up trading, though, as Danid also falls. Tries to go for a cheeky TP play onto Zoran.
Lovely.
Good stuff from Vi so far. There we go. Okay, SRPeakCheck. The pain point of the map on this corner. If they get a clean couple of kills, yeah, a very late death on Camp Crash, it might be good for the checkpoint.
And you can see Oblivione is really trying to get onto the backline of SRPeakCheck, put out a lot of pressure, but SRPeakCheck really seems to know what their like advantages are, especially playing around these Symmetra turrets like you talked about, right? Now they leave LH Cloudy on the point, they have their backline on this corner, and they've just set up turrets so that if anyone from Oblivione tries to step up, they're walking into the microwave. So really great understanding here from SRPeakCheck.
5 ultimates for Oblivione.
A lot of ultimates on
one shatter for SRPeakCheck. Oh, here comes the orbital ray. That's a whole lot of damage. The little micro missiles there with the ray is just scary. Goso taking down SXJ as Cloudy jumps to the back line. Oh, what a shatter as well. I mean, that'll do it surely. Bob deployed. Cloudy in pain, in trouble, needs help. Full HP almost though. That bomb just tearing through that shield, but more than happy to tank those final shots as both healers are alive for SRPeakCheck. Checkpoint gained again, so forward spawns active for SRPeakCheck. Eventually, Cloudy falls as SkyTor making SRPeak's backline pay for their sin.
Yeah, SkyTor this is an uphill battle right now trying to get through this backline. Ilby and Ghost are doing a great job of helping each other. Every time SkyTor goes forward, he's just in so much pain, and LH Cloudy is sort of drawing the ire of the rest of the team that it really feels like SkyTor is doing this alone, because they have Pharah and Ashe, which are both high damage targets, but they're not playing a Tracer, so they don't have that follow-up damage with the Winston. So it's actually very difficult for them to isolate a target. So I wonder if we'll almost see a switch if they end up running into more issues.
All right, now the corner's going to get rounded. It's going to be a big issue for SRPeakCheck. Don't really want to play too aggressively, but they've got the wall to counteract this barrage. A pin on the nano-boosted Winston. SkyTor sent incredibly low. In fact, it jumps back in as Ghost is behind them right now using that window.
Oh.
Good run around from SRPeakCheck, and that barrage, barely like 2 missiles came out of that one. This is Oblivione caught unawares, investing ultimates that they definitely regret on using now.
Yeah, that was just great teleporter play there from SRPeakCheck. They flipped the map on Oblivione and they just weren't ready for it. SkyTor takes way more damage, even with the nano boost applied to them, and now SXJ is actually going to go over to the Venture. I like this pick. It does the same thing that I was asking for the Tracer. They just need someone who's going to be able to help SkyTor apply pressure to the backline, because right now it feels like they're standing tall and unable to be pressured in a meaningful way.
They didn't invest a whole lot of ultimates though, did SRPeakCheck, but they've got to this orbital rate again, and they're just going to hold on this high ground. They don't really need to push, they just need to stall time here realistically. No checkpoint acquired from Oblivione. Gives SRPeakCheck quite the sizable leads. Another pin, man. Can't crash dead. And with this orbital ray as well, Nekuno is 3% away. You're not using it in this fight unless you really think you can turn it. Ghost ends up falling, so maybe now's the chance. Zoro in a bit of a strange off angle there, holding that mega health bag on the side. Actually appears out of nowhere, just demolishes SRPeakCheck, sorry.
Hello.
What an insane angle for Zoro to take. Kind of waiting for the fight to break down and then peeking his head around the corner and taking shots.
Yeah, and that was a really important fight for them to win. He's going to actually swap off over to the Junkrat. So maybe wanting to deal... I actually don't really understand this pick. That's just mean.
That is a crazy shatter. Okay, Cloudy, we see you. We see you.
A little bit of flair on the...
Oh, yeah, I bet he wished he didn't cancel that bit. Probably would have got that kill, but gets it anyway with the hammer swing.
We get some appreciation for the mythic weapon. You know, the flare is pretty cool. The inspect is pretty sick. Look at that boy spin.
He's spinning. I like the Ana one where you just like perma-hit reload when it's full.
Oh yeah, just spinning that around, yeah.
Dude, that feels so cool, man.
All right, now we're gonna see Oblivione coming back. Obviously just took a shatter to the face now, but so many other ultimates on the board. Dana drops the wall, which is gonna split the rest of the team. SkyTor's gonna try and go into this room, but Cloudy's here to help.
He's against Junkrat though, and they got a land to deal with. Yeah, you want to get out of there. All right, switching over to Junkrat. A comp as old as time. A Reinhardt and a Junk. Don't fact check me on that one. 3 minutes to go. Checkpoint. Not even acquired by Oblivione. SRPeakCheck in such a good spot. They just keep resetting these fights to fight on that corner. They go so aggressive here around the midpoint. It's hard for Oblivione without a clean team fight to get much progress on the bot.
Exactly, because they have these forward spawns, every time they end up getting advantage, they can't even take the forward spawns back. So you can see all of a sudden they're walking into disadvantageous situation, and now he finds Pharah inexplicably, but there is a return, so there is an opportunity here for Oblivione to turn this around.
Oh, what a shatter as well. There goes Zoro. And Thrash 2, both players laying on their backs, waiting for their inevitable demise. And with 2.5 minutes to go, Cloudy and SRPeakCheck are just kind of rolling Oblivione right now. They've not had a clean fight. SRPeakCheck, like you mentioned before, Scott, they like to get down and dirty with it, and it's proving that right here. As soon as the fights break down, it's hard for Cloudy not to come up with at least a couple of kills.
Yeah, and it just feels impossible for them to be able to sort of retake and ever find an advantage. An early orbital ray from Ilpi, gonna find the punish here on the SkyTor. That's gonna be more meterage on the board as they're kind of flipping the map against each other.
Over 100 meters too for SRPeakCheck. Oblivione popped the rally. They haven't got their Winston here just yet, and Cloudy holding this door. And they use the window too, so look, no one can really touch SRPeakCheck right now. They cannot peek.
Skytor's dead again.
Skytor down, Fi dead to a bash. But Ghost is coming up with the numbers. He's coming up with the kills. A barrage available for SXJ. Needs to be the hero of this fight, surely, but has a shield to kind of stand in front of him. Cloudy could have just jumped up. SXJ unable to get barrages going. Nana's just going to die on the point, but they bought enough time. 1 minute and 30 to go as SRPeakCheck on Bruna Sarpi, showing us more aggression than we saw previously from it in the series.
They're still in this fight.
In that opening match. They still find these trade kills. They're making these fights so long.
This looks so frustrating to play against for Oblivione. They're really struggling to just close out fights, right? Like, they're teleporting around them, they're moving around them, and now, once again, they're managing to push the bot, but SRPeakCheck, they get the forward spawns, and now they're going up against another LH Cloudy Earthshatter. It feels like he's had it every other fight. And Fee with the tire as well. There's so many threats that they have to deal with as they step up. Skytor's going to go aggressive, but it's going to be forced to use it early.
Thought Cloudy was going to lay down the hammer there, but no, not yet, not yet. Little pin. Oh, he's aiming for the Winston. Zorro takes down LP. Ghost dead as well. Okay, supports now. MIA for SRPeakCheck, and for the first time in this map, Oblivione are going to find a clean team kill and get the bot moving. With 25 seconds to go, they got a mountain to climb, just about 100 meters or so, and they still need to get checkpoint 2, so it's another few extra seconds there they're going to have to wait around.
And they're about to fight into 5 ultimates, and these are big ultimates as well. All of these ultimates have the opportunity to end the fight. There's one out the window as a great kill on Zorro onto the tire.
Tardy going pretty low. Dana dead, Skytor falls though. SHJ once again with a barrage, has to be the hero, but a ground barrage, somehow staying alive a lot longer than what seemed to be anticipated there by Cloudy. Zorro with some clean shots too. That's that's 2 ultimates out of SRPeakCheck's bank. They've still got Shatter, they've got the window coming up, and they've got Wall from Dana.
Oh, Zorro!
What is that Shatter? Zorro's way too far up. There's only supports now on the point, and now going to have to deal with the wall. Skytor is back in the action, but Scott, that's it. There's no way you fight into that one. There's no way you're winning it. SRPeakCheck come up with the dub on Bruna Sarpi.
That has to be a miscommunication there from Oblivione. Zorro was in Narnia, just like trying to get a little bit of extra damage on, and he just gets solo shattered by Cloudy, recognizing that, hey, if we take down Zorro, there's no chance they're going to have to be able to take this fight against us. So, little mistake there by Oblivione, but at the end of the day, SRPeakCheck firmly advantageous on that map. They understood how they wanted to play it. Cloudy getting a lot of value, but also just like the Junkrat, just how they played around the maps, the corners they were doing. Great understanding of how to play Bruna Sarpi.
Great presence of mind. Let's go back to the thought before we enter this map, Scott.
No thoughts?
The deciding of the maps. Well, yeah, now our heads are empty, or they should be at the very least. Honestly, Cloudy has just shattered all thoughts out of my head. And at this point, what's the meta? I don't know. Maybe it is the Ryan and the Junkrat. But now we have Oblivione. It's their choice of map now. And you can really target these game types and game type specific and go, okay, we're going to pick the one map on this that is not going to be favorable to you, and then you can't pick that map type again.
Yeah.
So we have, I think, when it comes to the escort maps, there's a couple of very good dive maps there. Of course, we've got Gibraltar, which could be a pretty decent pick. There's Junkertown as well. Where do you expect Oblivione are going to take us? Because I think this is going to be the determining factor in this series, where these maps lead us.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, like, Junkertown historically is not a great Reinhardt map, right? So it's like, hey, this could be a really good pick for us, but it's also like, does this work for us as well? Because SXJ seems really comfortable on the Barra, and it seems like that's the pick that they want to use to be able to deal with this Reinhardt. But so Barra's, I think, even worse than Reinhardt is on Junkertown. So not only are you trying to play against what SRPeakCheck are playing, but you're also trying to find situations in which you can play your own composition, right? On top of that, I think if you're Oblivione, you need to look at that map and recognize some other issues you had, right? Other than just the map and the setup, I feel like there was a pretty big disconnect between Skytor and the rest of his team throughout the entire map. They need to find a way to be able to enable the rest of their team to be able to work together, because almost like we talked about in the end of the last map, it just ended up as a disengage. Oh my god.
That was a pin and a half.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that?
That is, despite how that map went, it's a 1-to-1 KD. Everybody just 34 deaths across the board. That's pretty insane, actually.
It's because of what we talked about, where it felt like SRPeakCheck were always taking fights in the right spot, right? They always had the forward spawns. Every time they want to fight, they were getting a lot of value. While Oblivione, every time they want to fight, it felt like they were just pushing the bot back to where it once was, right? So they were never actually getting meterage on the board. And I think that's where, you know, the push and the mental game of how you push and pull and push is really interesting.
Well, we'll have to wait and see where Oblivione want to take us. Rialto was a map that was chosen by SRPeakCheck. Definitely the better of the three for the Reinhardt, for the escort pool right now. It's Rialto, Junkertown, and Gibraltar, just to kind of remind everybody. So maybe we do see some sort of escort pick, because when you look at Flashpoint and Clash, Ryan's pretty decent on that game type, and all the modes kind of facilitate that style of play. So maybe you just go to a Watchpoint Gibraltar. Maybe you just go to a Junkertown. Just take that off the board and take Rialto away from the team as well, which is definitely the stronger of the three.
Yeah, there's so many hypotheticals of like what you want to play, because like the counterpoint that I would say to that is like, yes, Rialto's a pretty good Ryan map, but it's also a phenomenal Pharah map, right? So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of different ideas that you can go down, and at this point, do you prioritize, hey, what are we good at versus what do we think they're going to struggle on, right? So it's all up in the air, and at the end of the day, I think it's not even just like the map types, it's about the understanding of how you're going to play against it, because there are some adjustments that SRPeakCheck have shown that they're willing to make, right? If you go over to the Junkrat, are they going to play the Symmetra, or are they going to play the Venture, right? Are they going to, like, what type of setup are they going to play? There's a lot of meta games going on in this situation, and I'm just excited.
It is like small meta games and like what's happening. Don't forget the viewership incentives as well. Connect your Battle.net account to your Twitch account. Yeah, you can earn some cool drops. Name card after a few hours there, and then you get some Echo skins too. It's nice little recolors for you in the OWCS colorway. Yeah, a lot of small little meta games as we wait for Oblivione to choose where we're gonna go. I want to see more Junkrat from Fi, to be honest. Guys kind of
starting to sound like Jake over here, Jack. Come on, Les. I think you've been spending too much time around Jake. You know, he's like, hey, let's just play Junkrat everywhere, right?
No, Jake's like, you only play meta, that is it. If anybody diverts, I'm #1 hater. That's more like Jake. He's not in it for the fun. He's in it for the pure hard meta. You're only going to play this. If you play wrong, I'm going to call you out.
He's here to win. He's here to win. Hey, we've all played ranked games with Jake. We know what it's like.
My guy I'm
pretty sure Jake has reported and avoided both of us at one point.
Oh, 1,000%, by the way. 100,000%. We've been reported / avoided. Okay. We're going to Rialto. So we're not going to Watchpoint, which is more of a dive map, same with Junkertown, more of a long-range map. We're going to Rialto, where Oblivione did full hold SRPeakCheck in their series previous. So kind of the small meta games that we were speaking about a minute ago, kind of being flipped on its head a little bit here. So very confident in their game and how they're going to deal with the Rhine. It's up to SRPeakCheck to kind of look back at that map and decide, look and say, hey, this is how we lost this last time. If we play this again, how are we going to win? And it's all in SRPeakCheck's court right now, because this is an XO pick.
Yeah, and it's one of those things of, like, as I said, you go to the Pharah. The Pharah is just, the roofs are some of the best roofs in the game that you can play over, right? You can hover over them. There's a lot of high grounds that you can play off of. And you can just also deny the high grounds away from SRPeakCheck. The counter to that is there's a lot of really good routes that you can take if you are the Reinhardt team. I wouldn't be surprised to see Darned play that Symmetra teleporter. You can move your team around very quickly and isolate the backline of Oblivione. So it's going to be a lot of positioning and how they're going to move it around. But just have to wait and see how it really does play out, because as I said, these teams have played in the past, so they know what to expect from each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it most fun too, especially a team that is going to hard force one kind of comp. Like, you expect that as well for like Wasp No. You know they're going to play ball. You know they're going to play Junkrat. Like, it's a team that you go into the lobby, you're like, okay, so we're not going to be surprised but maybe we're caught off guard. Maybe we're surprised about how you play those characters. And as we load in, Oblivione, they're going on the defense, so their chance to full hold like they did in their opening match against SRPeakCheck. How is Cloudy and the rest of the gang gonna deal with it?
As we see Oblivione run out, it's pretty much what we expected. This is pretty standard for how they want to deal with this issue, so I don't see either team's really changing their strategy up much. It's just going to come dependent on how they play it. Where Skytor and Zoro and SXJ are currently set up, this is the position that's going to be the most important, right? You're going to want to hold this so that when SRPeakCheck move around the map, you're going to be able to spam, you're going to be able to drop on top of them and get as much value as you can, because SRPeakCheck, on the other hand, are going to try and move around the map as quickly as possible. And the big question I have is, Darnet going to play the Symmetra, or are they going to stick to the Venture?
Sure, we'll have to, maybe just kind of waiting and seeing what Oblivione are going to play. So no Widow, it's going to be a Tracer. Okay, so same kind of comms that they've been running with over the last couple of maps, with the Venture this time.
So now
Crash and also Theathorn side. It's been a very good Ana player so far.
Yeah. The nades are huge in this situation. If you can hit the biotic grenades, there's not a lot of tools that SRPeakCheck have to deal with that. So it's going to be about like finding those biotic grenades and then isolating a target. As SXJ is going to find B on the side. Oh, what
a sleep!
So good.
Their coach got up in the air, boom, hit the sleep, and Daned goes down. SRPeakCheck, who's both DPS super early.
And you can see the struggles they're having as, like, how do you dislodge Zoro from this spot? B seems to be adding a little bit of pressure, poking and prodding. But they're almost going to just try and avoid it as much as they can. LH Cloud is jumping up, trying to get as much space as he can.
Okay. There's the sleep.
Another great sleep.
There's the nade. And Cloudy is dead. Yeah, the trade though.
Yeah, and
alright.
Captain Prash has been knocked down to the low ground, so they're in a lot worse position. Ilpi takes down SXJ. We're actually going to see Oblivione to be in a very bad spot.
Couple of shots there, a little bit shorter range than Nano would hope. Good sleep again. Wow, Cam Prash is just a bit. Oh, hello, Cloudy. What the? Wait, what? Okay, that's unlucky, as they say. Danny also taking down the Ana, so Oblivione no supports, but yeah, neither do SRPeakCheck. Cloudy 1H.
And it really feels like another full hold coming close to the horizon. You know, SRPeakCheck aren't even really charging ultimates very quickly right now. Captain Prash, just every time it feels like SRPeakCheck go anywhere, they're getting slept, they're getting naded, and they're just getting isolated.
He's in the Widow spot too. So far away. And you know that SRPeakCheck need to come up these stairs too. They need to get this Ana off of high ground. As we see Cloudy now just pinning away as they lose their Juno. Is slowly getting out of their hands. I mean, they've used Ray, Scott. I mean, SRPeakCheck. Did that get cancelled?
That mustn't have gone off. That must have been a cancel. I feel like Ilpi probably taking a little bit of damage, uses the ult to try to stay alive. Because there's actually a pretty big frame window of how you can lose Orbital Ray.
Nice, tasty Rage Axe. Is Ghost dead? No. Dana is here. Oh, maybe he's dead now. Primal Rage being popped. Yeah, no chance. Absolutely no chance. Although the lamp does end up coming through. Maybe the Juno saves him. Oh, maybe not. Sky took a nice
way out as well.
Double and somehow killed Dano as well. I mean, sure, why not?
He's going to switch over to the Reaper, something that we haven't seen as much. Don't love this pick, honestly. I don't know what the Reaper is really going to accomplish in this spot, but more importantly, Oblivione still have 4 ultimates to their name.
Oh no! Oh!
Just lives to tell the tale. Don't know exactly how.
That was close. Yeah, the Reaper guy is pretty cool. He does have 2 guns.
Okay, that's great. Love that for him.
Pretty epic. Well, there is the Ray, and the Bob is gonna absolutely decimate. Okay, well, I think fight just went on there. Interesting. I think maybe hitting the reset button there, knowing they've got one last fight. I'm not sure you would intentionally just slip and slide off of the high ground. Or the Mega Health Pack, sorry.
Yeah, and SRPeakCheck, they're going to have to touch the point, which is going to be the worst part here. Oh, nice honk grenade. Doesn't get any picks, but they're going to have to play around the point, which, as you can see, SXJ is waiting, lurking. They can Nano Barrage. Actually, just going to go with the Nano Winston instead.
Yeah. Oh, dearie me. Didn't expect the Juno to be up there. Oh, the hammer hits the floor, but Cloudy gets nada. Well, there's the kill from the Reaper, Scott. But the problem is,
Big.
SRPeakCheck are dead. Yeah, there we go. Another full hold for Oblivione on Rialto. It's the second time they've done in with SRPeakCheck. And yeah, you're expecting Oblivione to potentially win this map, which would be match point for them in the series. Group C was an entertaining one. Of course, Space Station Gaming with a clean 2-0, 6-0 in map score, end up winning it out. SRPeakCheck always bringing in the fans. And 50-50 coming into the series for the viewer predictions. You can kind of see why, especially after the Runa Safi. But SRPeakCheck just taken to the cleaners. Dipped right in that cleaning bucket right there and just like give it a little swirly.
There's also a lot of fans of SRPeakCheck, just like Danny, where I see Reinhardt, I cheer for said team, you know? And obviously LH Cloudy is a fun streamer as well that a lot of people like to enjoy and watch as he tries to do the impossible on Reinhardt. But now he's going to do it
do the impossible right is putting it lightly. Yeah, somehow. Cloudy must have the highest like mastery on Ryan of any account, unless there's some other like Ryan god out there that I'm unaware of.
I think there are other gods, but not to the same level of prestige. You know, especially like early on in the day. You know, my first mind goes to Fraggy, right? Like Fraggy was the original OG Reinhardt player. You know, you go even further back, you go to other Reinhardt one tricks, Reinforced. You know, my boy Johnny.
So true.
They've been out there in force throughout the history of time, but LH Cloudy has held the mantle for so long, which is what makes him so iconic.
Really has. Fraggy competing in Race to World First as well.
Yeah.
As an Invoker, I believe. Oh, what a shot.
Lovely shot.
Okay. Beautiful. Maybe this is what you need right here. Just the Widowmaker.
So just do that again for 4 minutes, and they're in for a shot. Right. Because the golden box of victory isn't that far as well. This is really a one team fight win for Oblivione just because of how much meterage you get early on in the fight because it's hard to defend. So they're just going to need to try and find a way to route around, dislodge from this high ground. As you can see, Skytor trying to apply some pressure. Does manage to get out, but no value found.
The rocket's really annoying too for the Widowmaker. It's kind of like a hand zone away, you just like fire like random shots. The Widowmaker does take damage, just back up, or at least unscope. Oh, how he finds a pin? Don't know. At this point, I'm done questioning how Cloudy gets pins. I'm going to be honest with you.
He's doing the geometry in his mind that no one else can really do right now. But you're starting to see the fights break down a little bit. The SRPeakCheck are losing some positioning, and that's where it gets difficult, right? Because now all of a sudden Zori gets some angles to shoot, takes down Fee. Ghost has to use Lamp now, and LH Cloudy's just looking for a target.
Round one. Oh, no pin. That was a little scammy. I thought maybe you'd get Skytor there. Skytor escapes to live another day. SRPeakCheck. You can see their health bar is just slowly dwindling in the little HUD there. Yeah, Cloudy's dead. I mean, that is it. I think Scott's sadly an unremarkable defense there from SRPeakCheck. Quickly dealt with by Oblivione. Match point as well for the team. As SRPeakCheck now get their chance to choose another map. They can repeat the same stuff we saw in Runa Sabi. Hey, maybe we go to a map number 5, but yeah, that Rialto was very fast.
Yeah, very smart choice there from Oblivione. Knew exactly how they wanted to play it, knew how to play against it. And that's just the limitations of playing Reinhardt, although everywhere and anywhere, right? There's going to be maps where it's just not going to work. It can be very difficult. You can make magic happen, but it's such an unfavorable situation that it's easy to get full held. So we'll have to see. Now we saw SRPeakCheck, they can choose a map that plays to their strengths, right? They got Flash and Clash that we were just talking about. Do you want to save that for map 5, or do you want to make sure that you're in a good position here to take out map 4? You know, there's so many different options that you can go with.
Yeah, Flash and Clash. I mean, I think both of them have very good merits for Ryan. That was a good sleep. Pretty nice. Camp Crash, I think in general has been such a standout player this series so far, dealing with the Ryan. Yeah, you're getting randomly pin killed sometimes, whatever, but oh,
okay. Oh, this is the ult. Yeah, I think trying to use that ultimate at the last second, you can see getting burnt down just a little bit. I think took some random damage as well from the spot that they weren't expecting. That really hurt.
Oh, how did that shatter not hit? Like,
Yeah, what is this Reinhardt apologist behavior I've got from you over here, Jack?
Come on, the shatter, like, the hammer hit the ground right next to Skytor's head.
Yeah, but the bubble, you know, Skytor's playing it to a T.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. 2.2 to 0.4 there, only 12 deaths for ex-Oblivione.
Yeah, and that makes sense, you know, that's kind of how the map really played out.
The
Really
healing
felt
done is just crazy low, by the way.
Yeah.
But the map didn't last long. So.
Yeah, you know, like 7.6k healing in, you know, 8 minutes. It's not the worst thing, but it really, you can tell that a lot of these fights were decided by just like early picks or not team fights. It was just very chaotic all over the place, especially when you have a Pharah and an Ashe on the side of ex-Oblivione. It's just high damage coming from really random sources.
Yeah, there we go. Map number 4 on your screens in just a moment. It's SRPeakCheck. Is there time to choose once more? Will we go to a map number 5 or will the series end here? We'll have to find out after this. Welcome back. Ex-Oblivione, 1 map away from taking that last spot in Group C. Going to the main event. Throne of Anubis is the pick from SRPeakCheck. Okay, we're going to a clash. Scott, how do you feel about Throne of Anubis in the right?
Yeah, we talked about it. Clash is going to be a map type that is just conducive for the way that they want to play the map. It's so push and pull. Reinhardt is going to be very valuable here. I wouldn't be surprised if SRPeakCheck feel like they have an advantage on this map. For ex-Oblivione, they want to play the Pharah, and I actually couldn't even tell you what the skyboxes are like here on Throne of Anubis because it's such a new map. But I don't think it's very high, and especially with the first point being stuck inside, I don't think you're going to be able to see SXJ get as much value from Pharah, but they seem to disagree with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can hide on the little pillars, to be fair, and there are little platforms on the pillars too, so I don't know. It's an interesting one. Not really seen SRPeakCheck pick up a queen though. I mean, Cloudy's known to play a queen a little bit, but he's gonna rock out with it. Looks like he's gonna. Yeah, okay, so something a little bit different from the Rhine.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I know their backs are against the wall as Cloudy, just shouts out spawn. All right, okay, yeah, I should have expected that. I don't know why I expected anything else.
So we're going to see the same compositions from both teams. Like, they're going to play it. We are... Okay.
Hello, Cloudy.
Sure.
Oh.
And you can see SXJ, the issue with playing the Pharah here, right? Like, has to enter into the room, just takes too much damage, ends up getting punished. And LH Cloudy's just being able to play Gatekeeper on these front doors. That's going to isolate so many targets, and that's going to be a very quick first point cap to SRPeakCheck.
It's kind of funny, because I don't think ex-Oblivione want to ever fight in midpoint. It's like, we just want to fight on second and third.
Yeah.
Like, that's it, right? You want to fight on BD/AE. Because the ability to navigate this point is a lot harder for this comp with the Rhine, whereas Skytor playing the Winston has a tough time on point C.
Ooh.
Dana was immediately sussed out there. Well, hello, Cloudy.
And you can see...
wandering around doing his own thing right now.
Yeah, now he's going to try and run down the Ana. Almost feels like completely alone. He does get slept at low HP. Everyone's getting pressure. This fight is definitely breaking down into some chaos.
Yeah, Skytor was going pretty low. Daned's just backing up his supports right now. Cloudy does fall, however, but I's still coming up with the damage. That is both backline is dead for ex-Oblivione.
Yeah, and with both of them down, this is going to be a really difficult fight for them to take. SSJ does switch off of the Pharah over to the Tracer, and they've been able to take out the backline of SRPeakCheck, so that should give them an opportunity to get back into this fight.
Yeah, especially with Skytor nearing that Primal Rage as well. You haven't really got much chance to stay in that fight. See if SRPeakCheck want to recontest? Probably not, though, because again, happy to kind of play in the center point where ex-Oblivione's comp is a lot harder to actually execute. Oh, good clip onto Ghost.
Yeah, so you're going to see them try and re-engage at the last second, but it's not going to work. It's just going to be a flip coming out. LH Cloudy catches that on the way through.
Martyrdom there. Call of Duty 4, martyrdom. You put the grenade on the floor.
And that's going to be a cap. And ex-Oblivione holding onto a lot of their ultimates as well, which is good for them. As we head back onto the inside area. With SXJ on the Tracer, it shouldn't be anywhere near as bad as it has been in the past.
Guess who's got Shatter? Here it comes.
Skytor. Oh, no.
Oh, no. He's got Primal, though. He's got an ult. All right, Danet. It's hard. It's easy to hold this high ground as well. As the Venture, it's really nice. Shadow does end up hitting the ground, and there we go. There's the kill. Skytor dead. Point does cap fairly slowly. But excellent, they're only losing 2. Probably just results in SRPeakCheck capping this point.
It's something that is always impressive about LH Cloudy playing the Reinhardt. He always seems to know the right targets to Shadow, right? Getting the Shadow onto Skytor, understanding that they can kill him before he's able to get off the Primal Rage. That just wins them the fight for just one Shadow. And Oblivione had the tools to be able to deal with it. They just weren't able to utilize them. You can see the Ana and the Ashe hiding on the left side here. They know they're coming up here.
Good nade. Can't rush. Gets to sleep as well. Yeah, right around the corner. Yeah, Dano through the window like this, not exactly someone you want to mess with. A Tectonic Shock doing a fair bit of damage, but only to Skytor. The rest of Oblivione left that room quick sharp as soon as they heard those ults go off. Oblivione with half capture progress already, but here comes the orbital raise from both sides. As Cloudy is going to be quite the mean character to deal with on the point. That's a couple of swings and a couple of little torpedoes there from the Juno. Is an instant kill onto the Winston. No Primal Rage available either, and Zoro losing the duel against Ghost. And it's going to be Oblivione getting off of this point, at least for the time.
Cloudy just...
stick!
Oh, the lamp.
Wow, okay.
Unlucky. Hey, good play by with the lamp, but the point is still very hardly captured at this point, so there might be another opportunity here for Oblivione to get back in, especially considering SRPeakCheck lost a couple of players. Nano boost onto Skytor, but he can't find a target.
Good nade, straight into the back line. There's no lamp to save you this time. Ghost escapes with a sliver of HP. Able to heal back up as Skyjaw rejoins the gang. However, Cloudy is on the high ground. Nade onto the Reinhardt, and Danid stalling this one out. This has got to be one of the longest flashpoints I've ever seen. Someone's got to cap at some point, surely. Surely.
Nope, hold.
Teguno's dead, hold. Cam Frash is dead, hold.
No support for Oblivione. They're potentially going to be able to hold on to this one. If they can just stay alive for a little bit longer, LH Cloudy's able to anchor down on this point. With window going down, they should have the sustainability.
Yeah, they're going to revert the flip. There you go. Oblivione now no longer in control. SRPeakCheck come up with a kill on SXJ as Ghost. He's trying to stay out of the way of Skytor right now, who's pretty low. Danid finds him, pushes him into that small room with that drill dash. That will be SRPeakCheck surely claiming the point.
What a flip. Honestly, that was a very back and forth fight, but eventually Oblivione is going to give it up. So that's going to go 3-1 the chart in the
like half an hour.
Yeah,
the whole map's worth of time.
Yeah. It's like
there's not even time back on this point.
But now, importantly as well, SRPeakCheck, they have a lot of ultimates. They're in a good spot as well. I really like this positioning. They're going to be able to use the orbital ray to get out. They have the Shadow, they have the Tectonic Shock. Wait, they're going to the spawn?
Yeah, just flip the map on them completely. What a stick from SXJ. Lamp deployed though. Oh, the Primal Rage. Oh, Skytor. That's exactly where they wanted him to be. Straight off the map. Ghost and Danid sink to their death. Straight into a tomb. As SRPeakCheck are cleared off of point A.
Yeah, I don't know if they were aware that when they were going all the way around to spawn that they put themselves on the edge of a cliff. And Skytor just taking complete advantage of that. Now we're actually going to see a switch from Skytor as they head over to the Ramatra.
Maybe thinking again. Okay, yeah, sticking on it. All right. The Ram versus the Rhine, kind of a classic, honestly.
Yeah. And they're playing the Venture, so it makes sense they're playing their own little rush composition, but at this point, you've got to be really careful playing into SRPeakCheck's game, right? As much as the Ramatra might be strong, it could be difficult as you're going to see them use the... You're going to use the orbital ray early, but unable to find any value, but they will have positioning on the point.
Yeah, kind of an easy back off there for SRPeakCheck. Shatter available from Cloudy. Gonna speed his way towards the back line. Oh, almost got the pin. I mean, Shatter's available. Got to be careful. Sending out a couple of fire strikes, but Danade's the first to fall for SRPeakCheck. A couple of swings of the hammer, but Cloudy is so low. Yeah, Skytor easily dealing with Ryan, as well as the Junkrat.
And they're playing very well right now. The Ramatra swap working out quite well, as now we're going to go 3-3 apiece, and we're going to meet back in the middle. 2 more points for either side.
This is the big flip around as well, because the Winston comp did not do well on midpoint, but this Ram comp is going to do so much better at actually brawling out.
I like this Darned switch over to Symmetra as well. I think works very well in these rush compositions. You're going to be able to use the Junkrat mines plus the Symmetra turrets. It's just going to be so much stray damage coming from all over the map.
Shatter, Cloudy. There's
From
no,
the top
come on.
rope.
There's no way. Okay, yeah. The Shadow does hit the floor, but a great block from Cat and Prash. Ends up using that rally to stop two of them going down on the floor. However, Skytoss still ends up falling. Those little turrets from Daned, not only just little mosquito bites, but doing enough damage to actually net them the kill. I'm sure the turrets actually get damage amped, right, with the ult, so maybe that's what did him in the end. That Juno ultimate helping those little turrets do a lot of damage. SRPeakCheck, they're going to be able to claim this point as well, Scott, and that's going to be map point. Oblivione cannot lose this next one, or we're going to a map number 5.
Yeah. And they, fortunately for Oblivione, they do have big ultimates, right? They have the Tectonic Shock, they have the Orbital Ray, which we just know is so effective. But it comes down to how are they going to get themselves in the right position to be able to utilize this. Wall goes down for Darned to be able to split the fight.
Oh, can't split it evenly enough. And there is the Orbital Ray. Yeah, and despite the wall, you can just walk through it. It's just so much damage. But the fan hammers as well, I mean, come on.
Just pumping out damage with these fans. That should be Oblivione just flipping it back the other way now, as all roads lead back to the C point one more time. Oblivione has not won a midpoint this entire map, but SRPeakCheck, they've always been having the advantage, but now it's on either side.
I mean, the problem is, Scott, SRPeakCheck, they've got the Juno ult. The Orbital Ray's coming up in 40%. They just need to stall this out because Tekuno used that Juno ult before to claim that last point. It's going to be tough. Oh, that's a good way to start off with SXJ clearing out the backline. As a window's used very defensively by Ghost, maybe thinking they can catch someone off guard. Does SRPeakCheck now have to revert the capture? The Shadow hits the ground though, and it's a big one. 3 people on their back now as SRPeakCheck try and capitalize, or an SXJ end up going down. As SRPeakCheck might have just done it here. Tekuno launched up into the skies. LH Cloudy clearing Skytor and the rest of Oblivione off the map, and that's almost a team kill. SRPeakCheck now just needs to deal with the stragglers as they're going to take us to a map number 5. All roads do lead to the mid-fight, Scots, and they have done it. A Throne of Anubis win for SRPeakCheck as we go all the way. And what a way to end it as well, with a big shatter at the very end. They didn't lose a single mid-fight that entire map.
SRPeakCheck just showing they're so comfortable in certain situations, right? Cloudy, every time we entered that mid-round, he's holding doors, he's cutting people off, he's hitting big shatters, just time and time again. LH Cloudy coming up clutch and able to close out map 4. So now we go to the infamous 5th round, and it really comes down to where is Oblivione comfortable. They've shown when they're able to play their style, they're firmly in the lead, but if they go to a map where SRPeakCheck can play the Reinhardt and feel good, it's been dangerous.
Well, Scott, it's hybrid. That's the last game type. So maybe a little bit of King's Row is off the table here for Oblivione. Don't really want to take the Reinhardt there, especially with the TP and how they've been using it, right? I don't know.
Midtown's also dangerous against the Reinhardt and the Symmetra.
Right. It's weird because in a way they've like backed themselves into a corner, because the Rhine in general hybrid's pretty decent.
Yeah,
and
you can make it work.
Very much favors SRPeakCheck in that regard. Oh, this is a little rough one. Not exactly the way you'd want to go down. Not getting the win here, and SRPeakCheck getting the revenge, right? Going all the way to a map number 5. I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, the audience, they're onto something. I don't know, the 50-50, straight up even with Danny's percentage taken into account there. It's been a very close map so far, or match so far.
And you can see Oblivione throughout the middle of this map. They kind of got to a point where they're like, hey, we don't think we can play the Winston, right? We can't play our dive, we can't play our Pharah. We're gonna have to play like a Ramatcha Rush and try and beat them at their own game. And it works to mixed success, but at the end of the day, it really feels like if you're trying to take a brawl mirror against SRPeakCheck, you're not going to win in the long run. So are they going to try and go back to what they want to play with the Pharah, with the Winston, or are they going to try and play head-to-head? Because the stats show it was pretty balanced, but SRPeakCheck just able to clinch it out at the end.
Yeah, that big shadow at the very end, that was what really turned the tables. Oblivione, no way. You come into this series, Scott, you're thinking, if you're Oblivione, we defeated these guys 3-0. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't close. Rialto, especially for us, was really clean. And again, they played a very clean Rialto in this series. But we're going to a map number 5 against a team that we thought we'd just kind of walk all over.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not a mental breaker, but like a back and forth series that has relied on you getting a beneficial game type, beneficial map for your team.
And I'm sure if you're an EMEA team watching this, there's a little bit of fear in the back of your mind, because if SRPeakCheck makes it through, anything's possible, right? Like you see in just in this match, right? I think overall you would say Oblivione probably is a better, well-rounded team, but SRPeakCheck on the right day, in the right situation, they can take down absolutely any team. So I'm really excited to see them. Maybe this is the first step that you were asking for, Jack, where we get SRPeakCheck versus Team Falcons in the grand finals at DreamHack Stockholm, you know? Maybe this is the first domino to fall.
It's happening. Maybe. Proper versus Cloudy.
Two goats of the game, you know?
Two goats of the game. They're on different roles, but what a headline that would be. Can you imagine on a big screen, both of them looking at each other? Two goats. Greatest of all time to ever do it. Different roles. Maybe Cloudy jumps onto the DPS, shows him how it's done on the Genji. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Okay, now we're cooking too hard.
Okay, maybe we're cooking too much. Well, okay.
Pull that back.
Everybody chill,
Chill.
Hybrid is the map type up next. You got a little bit of Kings in there, Midtown. Like, this is really where the Reinhardt can come alive. I wonder what we're going to also see from Fight too, because a little Junkrat, a little Tracer here and there. They have flexibility in their comp, of course. Mainly from just one player, to be fair. But regardless, I mean,
flexibility. Yeah.
Just there. To be fair, Danid's been swapping off as well. He's gone a little bit of the Venture. He's played the Symmetra as well.
Yeah.
A little bit more of a silly hero. It was known for his Doomfist back in the day. Like that was what Danid's like bread and butter was OG Doom. Pretty disgusting actually. Don't forget to check out season 12. There's only a few days left actually. I think it's like, what day is it today? Sunday. It's like a week and a bit. It's like
I would probably say October 15th. Like it says on the screen.
Yeah, on the Tuesday, the reset day.
Yeah.
So yeah, make sure you check it out. Battle Pass. Oh, it says it right there, dude. It says it right on the lower third.
Yeah, I didn't want to call you out too hard, but yeah, it really, you know, reading is hard.
9 days. 9 days. Make sure you go get your titles, and you can grab the Ana Mythic weapon as well, which is available in the store with your Mythic Prisms. But yeah, enough of that. More the game. Here we go. Midtown. Look, I just want to see SXJ back on the Pharah. I think another benefit for that team, for SRP or Oblivione, is that you can play Pharah on a lot of these maps, and Midtown might be the one that is the most successful with, because the skyboxes are huge on this map. Not an uncommon pick we saw when Pharah got changed as well. Very, very Pharah dominant meta it was, but Pharah incredibly strong here.
On the other hand, though, this is a great Symmetra map, right? Like, there's a lot of situations, especially on attack, you can teleport to that left mega room to bypass the choke. In the second point, you're able to TP your team to the high ground, which is one of the most difficult things to do, is assail that high ground. So I feel like if you're SRPeakCheck, you're not unhappy with going to Midtown for map 5, right? It's going to be difficult, it's always going to be hard, but if you're going to be able to pull it off, this is a map that you can do it on.
A true back and forth series. SRPeakCheck versus Oblivione as we go to map number 5. It's going to be Midtown. All roads lead here to New York. That's what Matt would definitely say. As Group C, this final decider match, who will be with Space Station Gaming moving on to the main event, SRPeakCheck or Oblivione, as we load in.
For all the marbles, backs against the wall. Who cares about your strategies? And it looks like both teams pretty comfortable, pretty happy with what they want to play going onto this map. Oblivione rolling out with the Pharah, with the Ashe, exactly what we expected from them. Both those heroes quite strong here. But are they going to be able to deal with the threat of SRPeakCheck moving around this map? Getting around, because there's actually, even without the Symmetra teleporter, because Danid could come out on this venture, they found quite a lot of value on that. But OWCS can just pin around this map. There's so many different corners and corridors that you can play and fight out of that I think OWCS, if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be him. So let's see it. The moment we've all been waiting for. Danny's punching air in the background right now.
He is. He was so ready for the series to go long. He was like, I'm so ready to see more Ryan. This is what I'm curious about too. I'm curious about how they end up taking these first fights, because you don't have that sim, but you can easily just wrap around the streets, right? You can wrap around the little alleyway, but they're actually just going to go through the train with the ride, which is, I mean, with the ride, fair enough. You go to the speed ring, maybe you just walk out there, but it's so hard to push this. Yeah, Cloudy just gets instanated and dynamited straight afterwards.
And this is why no one ever goes through this subway. As much as it's a cool little spot and it makes sense because they have the shield, you're just walking through such a narrow choke that they threw the dynamite, they throw the barrel rockets, they throw the Ana grenade, and something's gonna hit and someone's gonna fall, and it ends up being LH Cloudy. So let's see if they route in themselves in a different way. Looks like they're gonna go under the subway this time. Trying to get like a slow peek through here.
Wow, Zoro dead. That's a lot of damage now missing, and look at that charge from Cloudy, straight to the point. And if you give Danid space as well, you force people to use like movement cooldowns. It's so much easier too for the Venture to pin someone down. Like Venture is so frustrating to deal with if you don't have mobility cooldowns. Yeah, she can just throw dash you, and you are in a corner, and then you just die.
And that's essentially how Darnet is trying to play, right? Darnet is trying to just make themselves a threat to give himself the rest of the team. So if the opposition doesn't react accordingly, Oblivione didn't give enough respect to Darnet. Darnet just finds 2 picks and just opens the fight up themselves. So it's that never-ending balance of like, if you're playing against the Venture, trying to push them out, trying to force them into a bad position, but also not trying to over-commit resources so that you're giving the rest of the team space.
Speed ring there for Cloud if he wants to use it. There's a Skytor. Happy to kind of play on this high ground, but jostling the payload is pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
You have to just find picks and find fights and then jump in and create space, because you aren't standing up against a Cassidy, a Ryan on the point like this.
Yeah, and you can see how Oblivione want to play. They're just trying to spread around all of SRPeakCheck, but Skytor gets pinned and ends up falling down. That's such a bad play, unfortunately, for Oblivione, because now they didn't have the nano, they almost have the primal, and the staggers start coming through, all while the card is still pushing.
Just a far behind too. They know SXJ is lurking in the background.
If SXJ gets caught here, this is going to be terrible for them, right? Because they're going to lose even more positioning, and this second point is where their composition should be at its strongest.
Got Shadow too. Doing pretty good. There's the Ray on the point. One is going to match too, so luckily everybody's benefiting from this one. Everybody grouping up, but that's perfect for Cloudy because he can just sit there and swing.
Oh, nice dodge.
Shadow hits the floor, but yeah, dodged on the payload. Skytor just bunny hops off of it and pops the Primal Rage. Ghost ends up going down as Skytor, sub 300 HP now, needs some desperate love and care to stay alive. Then they tried to go for the assassination kill, using that drill dash, but here's SXJ. Made themselves a presence and a known factor, the double kill.
And that's such a huge fight win for Oblivione. They needed that stabilization. But most importantly, all credit needs to go to Skytor. That dodge on the Shatter, LH Cloudy's planning to predict him hitting the ground, drops the Shatter, but because he lands on the cart and then jumps off the cart, he's just above where the Shatter is actually going to hit. So therefore, because he doesn't get shattered, he's able to primal, disrupt the rest of the team, and give his team space to come back in. And now with only 3 minutes remaining, SRPeakCheck, they have to close all this distance again against the Pharah, against the Ashe, and just how do you get through a nanoed Winston?
Yeah, good nano. Really nice stuff. Pretty awkward spot to save your Juno as well. You can fire some healing grenades, but the lamp isn't going to affect the Juno, who's a lot higher than the little hitbox.
So now, only High Noon to their name, which isn't a great ultimate in this situation, but you can see actually Darnet is going to create a little bit of threat. He's going to the cart, apply some objective pressure.
All right, High Noon used. Which only going to damage the ball. Yeah, there it is. Okay, gets the kill.
That's kind of messed up.
Yeah, it's kind of... I don't like that, actually. Like that. All right, nice little pin. I say nice little. It was very little. I'm not sure about nice, but it gets him to the point in time, at least. 2 minutes to go. Danet just being a force to be reckoned with in the back line. Burrow already used. I mean, just one-shot cap crash. Good luck. A 1v1 versus Adventure as a support play? Yeah, ain't happening, G. All right, there's Cloudy. Utilizing the Ray there almost. Came from the other team, but he was able to just pop himself in it, and everybody has to come to him because they want damage boost, and you're going to get hit with a hammer. Good stuff from SRPeakCheck.
Just seeing how much pressure, Darned took off the rest of the team. Darned walks to the cart, forces Oblivione to come back, but then just digs away, right? And just runs away into the distance. They eventually end up forgetting about Darned, and then Darned, as he said, just executes Captain Crash, who wasn't expecting it or didn't have the support to be able to stay alive. Now 2 minutes 30 remaining to be able to close out this map. This is a very solid push so far.
There's a Primal Rage. Party is anti-2, just forcing this small little room. 1 HP gets saved for the lamp. My word, how did you get out of there? Window being deployed. Skytor doesn't want to stay here for too much longer. This bubble will be evaporated. But it looks like they've got the healing required to continue to guide towards aggressive positioning.
Yeah, now they have managed to stabilize with just that 1 pick onto Faye. And now they're coming back. Orbital Ray should give them space. Oblivione looking like they're going for a disengage, but Skytor's kind of caught in a weird spot.
Yeah, it does end up leaping away, so they do get out. But Cloudy's got the shatter, he's just going to pinch the backline. Danis as well, also there. Tectonic Shock is going to do a lot of damage in this small corridor, but doesn't able to get too much off. Now the boost deployed, and here come the trades for the backlines. Looks like they're going to lose a couple as the shatter hits the ground, and Skytor. Yeah, despite having the damage resistance from the Nano, the Shadow's just too strong, man, in that corridor. SXJ with the barrage, looks for the backline, Ghost handily dealing with that, deploys the lamp at the right time, gets the immunity, and takes down the Pharah. Here come the spawns, but Gaito can't stay for too much longer. Only Tekuno. You got the Ray, it's pretty OP, but not as OP as Cloudy getting some pin kills. SRPeakCheck. They complete the map, and they complete with 1 minute and 18 seconds as well. So over that minute mark.
Yeah, over that minute mark is very important because that will guarantee they're at least going to get another chance to attack. And if Oblivione don't finish with any time, then they're not going to get an opportunity. So big plays. What is the truck doing? He's just like trying to park, going back and forth.
Yeah, it'll drift, maybe. Yeah, they're so close.
Yeah, they're
Just
kind of
awful. Just,
Are you a Pigeon fan, Jack? Not a Pigeon fan? No?
Not really. If you look into their eyes, you cannot tell me there's not some sort of like eldritch horror behind them.
But they kind of got fish eyes, so how do you...
Fish eyes?
Yeah, they
last
kind of
time
got...
I looked at a fish.
Well, I don't know. You know, like they got the fish eyes on either side. Kind of like a
What are you saying? What is this guy saying?
They're just, okay,
Saying the etymology of a bird looks at like their eyes.
Birds are just fish with wings. I'm gonna say it, okay, and feathers.
No, pigeons are rats with wings, actually.
No, don't say it. I will go down. I'll go down on this hill. This has been a match of just spicy takes.
It has actually. Yeah. All right, okay. Keeping the train going. I like it. Dude, look at it. It's all head.
Alright, interesting to note here, Oblivione looks like Skytor is thinking about coming out on the Ramatra SXG on the May. They're going to try and play SRPeakCheck at their game, which it didn't work on Throne of Anubis. Is it going to work here on Midtown? Because this is really where LH Cloudy is at his best. Like, this is where he understands this matchup so well.
Understanding the counters is important. SXJ on the May too, so another poor order. Oh, good flashbang straight up in the air, connecting with the Venture, who ends up springing up from the ground. Can't unfortunately get the kill, but that headshot will definitely secure it. All right, slowly but surely. SRPeakCheck, who normally do look at Daned to open these fights up, or at least distract the backline. It's much harder to do so now. You've got a Brig, and you've got that May as well. Very hard for Danet to get much stuff done, and there you go. Prompts the swap from both DPS. Danet going over to the Sim, and Fi over to the Junkrat. They're going to go look for a Riki test. Oh, good wall.
Oh, great wall. I don't think they're going to be able to get there now, yeah.
Wow, unbelievable from SXJ.
I don't know if that would have been good for SRPeakCheck anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but that is going to be an exceptionally quick first cap here from Oblivione. And they needed that, right? They need to start getting this momentum going as LH Cloudy's going to step up in an aggressive way. They want to get into these choke points where the Symmetra and the Junkrat are going to be at their strongest.
Yeah, this corner's not too bad to hold from either. Look at these little nades bouncing. They have a smaller hitbox now when they do bounce for the second time, so worth keeping in mind. Oh, Cloudy's stuck. Horrible spot to be placed into. And here comes the ultimate from Tekuno. Orbital Ray being thrown out. Cloudy's just... well...
He did.
Yeah, he did. Very aggressive pin. Honestly, if you're not going to use your ult, you might as well try and go for the pin kill. Maybe you find something crazy. Honestly, you never know what happens with a Junkrat in a fight. Oh no.
No.
Curtain Brash died to the total mayhem. No.
Hey, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you gotta get a teabag in, and then you get hit by it. You know, all those kind of things. But we're gonna see Oblivione is making rapid pace throughout this second point. SRPeakCheck is going to be able to reinforce with some of the late deaths on Oblivione, but tire.
Here comes the tire. Hanging out. The 10-second tire, a support's favorite.
Yeah, look at this.
Hear it?
What?
It's so silly. Okay, it's dead. Thank God. Whew. Every support bringing a sigh of relief there.
Yeah, I feel for all the supports out there. All right, now how do you deal with this shadow, right? Skytor has one shield to be able to deal with this threat from LH Cloudy. They're applying a good amount of pressure. Great wall once again by...
It's a decent...
SXJ.
A decent shadow there, but Cat Prash comes into the rescue again. Cloudy does end up finding the kill, but look at this Blizzard. Just clears off the high ground so easily. Ghost getting kind of destroyed, but using the window to its full effect there to hunt down Skytor. They end up trading tanks, but look at the positioning of the payload, Scott, and Zorro is on high ground. On the highest of high grounds, by the looks of it. How high was he there? What, he's got fire jetpack or something?
Yeah, you didn't hear the patch notes for Cassidy?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah,
they're gonna have to disengage though. They're gonna have to, because of the Ramatra not being there. They don't have the tank. They might be able to retake this high ground, which is at least a nice thing to have, but unable to really close out this fight right now. They have the orbital raid. How are they going to utilize this to get themselves into this fight? Because LH Cloudy, you can see he's just waiting to disengage as soon as they start committing.
Well, the wall's used as well if they want to use it defensively, and defensive they do. Skytor needs some desperate attention right now. This wall is actually separating the entirety of Oblivione from their raid. I don't think they're even receiving heals from it either. Teleporter comes in, Daned, he tried for the teleporter bomb with the Symmetra, but unfortunately SXJ was on the other side of it. And it's a very fast push yet again. Everybody's super low, and there it is. 2.5 minutes, that's going to change into 4 for Oblivione, pushing on this final point.
Yeah, this is working out. This Ramatra swap, taking the taking the Brawl matchup, seems to be working out really well. And SXJ's walls have honestly been the thing that I've been really impressed by. They're isolating LH Cloudy very well and just sort of pushing their objectives to go forward. SRPeakCheck, they do have a shadow on the side of LH Cloudy. Another tire coming up for fight as well. Nice TP.
There's a Blizzard on the point. Cloudy is on the wrong side of the map right now. Tire's been used. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Right around the corner, straight into the tire.
Found the tire.
Found it, guys, don't worry. Hammer hits the ground. Only one person down. Here's Skytor. Not sure they're going to be able to survive. No, not to read. 3 minutes to go. They're going to try and stagger as well, by the looks of it. Not quite. SXJ does end up going down pretty quick.
And now you're going to see SRPeakCheck starting to, find their footing a little bit. It was expensive with the tire and the Earth Shatter, but you'll absolutely take those. Now they can play these chokes. They have the turrets up. They have both support ultimates to their name as well, as SXJ is actually going to go off of the Mei over to the Pharah, over to the Ashe. Because of the long sightlines, they're going to try and go high damage output.
Wow, Skytor almost forced to pop the Nemesis form. As Cloudy was just swinging into them, like, over and over again. So a big cooldown that normally the round wants to save when they're in trouble has already been used. And Zorro is having a tough time too, trying to get a long angle away from Fly. Nice little orbital ray, same with that rally, but look at this, Skytor just swinging their fists in amongst this. The Annihilation and the Ray, Scott, it's got to be against the Geneva Convention or something. Like, that is just so much damage.
That's the thing that made Juno's ult so much better than a lot of us were anticipating, is your ability to combo with ultimates. Just like, it ramps those other ultimates up to like such a ridiculous level just because of the damage boost that you get within it. Oblivione did have to use 3 ultimates to get over that edge, and now SRPeakCheck coming back with ultimates of their own. So if you're Oblivione, you're not confident heading into this fight.
Yeah, definitely not. Oh, Shadow hits the ground. There we go. Pin didn't even need it. I was there with the grenades. And here it is, Scott. I mean, SRPeakCheck, they're in a good spot as well. There's 1 minute and 40 seconds to go for Oblivione. They're going to hit a reset button here. They're just going to go again, but they're not going to get as much time. And they may even be in OT by the time they finish, which is making that 18 seconds that SRPeakCheck got over the single minute so much more valuable.
And most importantly, they didn't have to use ultimates. Darnad still has that Symmetra wall, Ghost with the window. They have the tools to be able to deal with this aggression, as Skytor is actually going to move away from the Ramatra. Goes over to the Winston, but disappears.
I didn't think Skytor had control of their character that entire time.
Yeah.
Like, at all. You just, like, booped up into the skies, the Junkrat mines, and then just beamed. Yeah, they don't... call me crazy. They don't finish in a minute. There's no time at all. Sorry.
If they're going to finish in a minute, they really need to finish. Well, they finish with time, as you said. They really need to start getting this fight going soon. Ghost is in a very aggressive position. SXJ will trade their life for his. So that's a 1-for-1 trade, but the healing from the Baptiste might be missed.
Decent trade. However, there's a tire available now from SRPeakCheck, and Zoro's dead. Oblivione might not even finish this map, to be fair, let alone finish with time. Danet dead, sure. I mean, Cloudy is still getting killed. Cam Prash has fallen, and with 20 seconds to go, Oblivione, they're not finishing with time.
Oh, random trap ends up catching them in the end, and SRPeakCheck are given the freedom to be able to completely reset and fire with the tire. A tale as old as time. They've found so much value in the past with this one.
Here it is. And they got Shadow coming up soon as well, Scott. Bob comes through. Searching, hunting, looking. Cam Prash already dead to Danet.
Oh, no,
SXJ. Life cut miserably short. It's the Bob and the Ray, the only chance they have left, but it's all Cloudy. It was always Cloudy. The Shadow at the very end will top it all off, and SRPeakCheck hold Oblivione, take the map and the series, lock in their place, the main event. The Rhine teams supreme in Group C, as they will be with Space Station going on to next week.
No meta, no problem. You know, playing the Reinhardt, confident in the way that they want to play their game and making it work, and my boy Danny is popping off.
Meta? What meta? Hey, whatever you play, whatever you're good at, hey, that's the meta, right?
That was an unbelievable series.
That was crazy. I mean, that was, I think, probably one of the most entertaining series that I've seen in the group stages. My God. Hats off to Oblivione. I think they really had a great, I think, sort of plan for SRPeakCheck. I mean, they did go up against each other for, what was it, the opening matches, right?
Yeah,
but I mean, this time around, SRPeakCheck, they came in prepared.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly a close series either. Pretty dominant from Oblivione in that first opening match. But, I mean, SRP, I cannot believe I'm saying it. Oh, hey, you said it, Scott, actually. The dominoes are falling. SRPeakCheck versus Team Falcons.
This is the worst timeline. This is the worst.
Let's not go that far. that's going a little too much. I feel like maybe SSG later on. Maybe
that'll be fun.
Let's get all I would hope for. I just hope we get the Hardy Reinhardt versus the Cloudy Reinhardt. That's all anyone wants, honestly.
Oh my God.
It was an interesting series throughout the entirety, and you got to feel for Oblivione. As we said, it can get really difficult to play into these off-meta picks. Very difficult to play into because you don't really know what to expect. And it really felt like they did a great job of shutting down SXJ on the Pharah, because that's where, when you saw Oblivione finding a lot of the value on these masses, because SXJ was freedom to be able to shoot rockets, be able to get onto the backline, but you could see minor adaptations coming over time for how SRPeakCheck wanted to play each map, like, because this Rialto was not particularly close, right? When SRPeakCheck weren't able to just sort of punish anyone, it looked really ugly, but they were able to make it work in 3 maps, and that's all that matters.
I really like the adaptations that we saw from SRPeakCheck, honestly. The way the different heroes that Fi and Dana were playing, the Venture looked really good, because the idea is, like, get Cloudy in the back line, get him swinging. He doesn't really want to just sit there and be rectangle man, and Dana does that. He either burns the cooldowns from the supports or just kills them himself and then leaves Cloudy basically to do what he wants. Like, that's the problem with this Rhine. Rhine's so easy to control when you have a lot of people on the server, and the fights are pretty, you know, I don't want to say stock standard, but oh, look at that, boom, jump straight over it. But when the fights end up getting a little bit more dicey, and you know, we've been in the fight for like 30 seconds or so now, people have used CDs, that's where the Rhine really comes into play. And Cloudy knows exactly that, and they're just a masterclass on the hero, honestly.
I said this series was back and forth because I think it was the losers pick maps. Whoever picked the map, they always sort of got the win back and forth, right? But I think it really came down to this Midtown map where, you know, like you guys said, it sort of really worked out for the Rhine Rush, you know, for SRPeakCheck. And for Oblivione, like I think the Ram Rush also, like when they pulled it out, that really worked, but it was just, I think it was just a tiny difference for SRPeakCheck that got the win. And of course, play of the match, Ghost 91. This guy, I honestly think
He's a beast.
he really made Cloudy look even better on that run because of his lamps. Those lamps really saved Cloudy a lot of times. On top of that, he was just dishing out damage. Really, I think I said this before. I think I said Ghost was the third DPS on the team.
Yeah. I mean, he had
Really
more
is.
damage than DPS that time again.
Yeah.
So, you know.
And that's how you got to play it. Again, in these situations, right? It's like that's such an important piece of the way SRPeakCheck needs to play, right? Because the Reinhardt doesn't do a lot of damage. Realistically, doesn't do a lot of damage in this composition. You really need that extra little bit of damage from the Baptiste to be able to pump it out. Like you watching these highlights here, he's really helping execute some of these players to be able to sort of pump that out. If he's not doing that, he's just healing his team. They're not going to win those fights.
Right. All right. Well, it's time for the post-match interview. We're gonna hear from the man myth, the legend himself, LH Cloudy from SRPeakCheck is waiting for a post-match interview. Cloudy, big congratulations. What a match.
Yeah,
it was
a bit tough.
Hey, it was a bit tough, but you guys, at the end, you guys got the win. I do want to ask you about the win because, I mean, this was a rematch. Last time you guys fought against Oblivione, you guys, it was a 3-0 loss for you guys. What did you guys do differently this time around in order for you guys to secure the win?
Well, our first matchup against Oblivione, I think we had no hate to my teammate, of course, but our chunk ride might have been 1-20 after 2 maps, like 20 deaths and 1 kill. So like fundamentally, it was a bit tough. But yeah, it's not Fi's fault. We all played bad, but this time he like cracked the case and said, Fi, kill them. And this time he killed them, so good job, Fi.
Smart.
I really like the Venture look from the team. Venture just fits so well with the Rhine. Like, surely that's something that you're going to continue considering with the team. Because the Dana TPs were sick, but the Venture, especially just giving you so much space, it feels like a secret weapon.
I mean, the Venture is really good, right? I mean, I can't say everything why we play Venture, but enemies playing like really cringe. Like they're playing full cringe fire, Winston, Ana dive, right? So their backline is kind of vulnerable, right? So the Venture can just eat them alive while Danet Symmetra can't really do anything, right? So thankfully Danet knows how to play 2 characters, not like me. So I'm very blessed.
Thank goodness.
Very blessed to have flexible DPS on your team. I'm curious. I'm curious. As the series went on, you saw them start to switch over to the Ramatra, start to play a little bit more Brawl against you. Does that make you more confident? Are you like, oh, they're playing Brawl, we got this now? Or does that give you a little bit of pause?
I mean, if you think about it, every other team is playing like Orisa Brawl or Ram Brawl or whatever, right? No one plays against us. I wonder why. Because, you know, you can't beat us in Rush Mirror. So everyone just throws this cheese stuff at us. So if you go Rush, you just lose. So it's not bad at all.
Okay. Claudia, I have one more question. I mean, this is just like a personal question. Do you think you're a better Rhine than Hottie? Because Hottie is known to be the best Rhine player. What would you say to that?
I mean, I think I'm the best Rhine of all time right now. It's not even close. But overall, I think Hottie is obviously better than me because he can play more than one guy. But if I'm only playing one guy versus him playing the one guy, when on Rhine, I'm the best. Yes, yeah. I'm better. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Hell yeah.
There you have it.
Facts.
That's what I like to hear.
I love that. I'm really hoping to see just Ryan Rush Mirror matchup with you guys on SSG. Hopefully that comes soon. Cloudy, thank you so much for the interview. And again, big congratulations on getting the win.